You're listening to a Rowan Rook and Deckard actual play, and this is Till Death Do Us Hard.
Hello people who are listening. I'm Kieron Gillen, he, him. I'll be GMing today, and on this penultimate session, I am going to actually remember how to do this properly. So, hello, Ed. Tell me about yourself and who you are playing.
Hello, Kieron. I am Edward Spence, he, him. I am playing Soil Clogs the Throat, or Soil to his friends. Oh boy, he sure hopes they're friends and not just acquaintances. He is an Elfir dead walker currently seeking his death, and he might be about to be shown that it is an impossible thing he chases.
Ooh. In previous sessions, I've just said, tell me about who you're playing, and people have then, of course, gone on and said who they are as well. So, it's not information I've asked for. Anyway.
Sorry, shall I take again?
Oh, no, you did it right. I've got it wrong every session so far. And I just really want everyone to know I got it wrong, because I'm a failure in this and so many other things. Naomi.
None of that on this show.
Naomi, tell me about yourself and who you're playing today.
I'm a failure. And I use the pronoun she, her. And I am playing Heike, who has no hands, has a lot of bees, and is missing one wife.
Oh, Grant, who the hell are you, and who the hell are you playing?
Hi, I'm Grant Howitt, he, him. I'm playing Castor Scrift, drug wizard, who currently has his head jammed in the front half of a train, dreaming flames.
Living the dream. Nathan, who are you and who are you playing?
Hiya, I'm your androgynous android Nathan Blades. I am a delight and not a failure, and
We've always said so.
An unqualified success.
And I am playing the one and only Velvet Monte Carlo, the human heart's-blooded witch who has given up everything about herself to make other people's dreams come true.
Excellent. And we can begin. We fade up on basically moments between dimensions. When Red Moon in Gold was following behind you between dimensions, heading towards where the aortic dragon was. They're just ahead, and then the sweep of the energies between this historical behind place sweeps them away. With desperation, the young man's body throws everything he has through the portal. His fingertips are seared off, and he's sawn away through time and space. Eventually, he's rescued by someone who looks exactly like him. It says, welcome to the Resistance. You don't know what the hell you've done. Hard cut back to present day. Outside time and space. Inside a dragon. The dragon is made of trains and wires and is powered by the dreams of a child who really wants to go to a fancy party when there's probably goats and stuff. We pull back down the train, and our heroes are under fire from somebody who's firing some kind of weird combination gun that's part machine gun, part flamethrower, and part siren. It makes a lot of noise, even more noise than a gun it's needed. Basically, I want to get everyone to describe where they are at this moment. Let's start off with the person he's mainly shooting at. Soil, where are you hiding, and what do you look like?
Crouching behind some of the twisted metal that resides in the belly of this strange creature we're inside. Soil has his bony spine just pressed against this cover as there are just bullets ricocheting, there are sirens echoing all about his skull. And it has this very strange effect on the inside of his mouth as it just echoes out against the golden prosthetic jaw that takes up his entire lower half of his face. And as he brings up his hands to cover his long pointy ears, clutched inside one of his extended fingers is just a scrunched up piece of paper that may well tell him that all of this has been for naught.
Perfect. Let's scan over as the machine gun bolts move across the bulkhead towards Velvet. What do you look like right now and where are you hiding?
Velvet Monte Carlo is a very gothy adventurer with padded leather gear, deep skin, almost plum in the shadows, as she looks at her own reflection in one of the windows of the train as it moves through these dimensions of space. She's used to not always looking like herself. After all witches have a true form that sits underneath, equally beautiful and terrifying. But it's not that she sees in the mirror, but her younger self, around 7 or so. At least until one of the bullets ricochets through the metal of the train and cracks the glass, fracturing it in a whole bunch of different shards of herself.
That's perfect. The machine gun fire moves the other way towards Heike. Where are you? What are you doing? Where are you hiding?
I think Heike has hopped underneath the table, and though she was sort of sorting things, a bullet has hit the table, and everything's chaos all over again. She scrabbled underneath it. There's just the hum of angry bees.
Perfect. And of course, most of all, Castor, who's still got his head in the thing. You're under fire. Are you still keeping your head in there, or are you going to pull it out?
I like the idea that I'm sticking with it and trying to push us as hard as we can through unreality. So Castor is a shirtless, coatless, hatless drow covered in a variety of self-inflicted tattoos. Has his big wizard hat and his wizard scarves and wizard glasses all piled up next to the furnace, which he has his head jammed into and is yelling about some sort of birthday party.
The person who looks like Red Moon in Gold, but like about 45. To be honest, if you know the X-Men, he's basically Cable from the X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
Shit.
That's
Right.
exactly the vibe he has.
Oh, shit.
How many pouches?
A lot of pouches. Like, honestly, and the pouches are just full with like more pouches. Since it's been in the heart, his pouches are coming out of his skin.
Oh, so it's the Rob Liefeld.
Yeah, he's the full-on Rob Liefeld Cable.
Aim for his ankles!
Yeah, the smoke from the gunfire is filling the space so you can't actually see his feet, absolutely.
I don't enjoy killing you, sir, but it's for the best.
Sort of shaking out of the dust and fire that is all about just underneath his mask, which he just adjusts over both eyes once more. Soil just turns around and slowly coming out from cover, both hands raised, although one still very much clutched around the parchment in his hand. I'm so glad you caught up with us. It's good to see you again. I kept your fingers.
He's reloading at this point. Of course, you know I was joking. We can't kill you. You know, you're going to be alone at the end of time.
Hey, uncalled for. Can I push him out the train?
You can certainly try.
I would like to try.
Like, what skill do you reckon this? It's tech as you aboard it, but he is...
I'm trying to kill him, I feel.
I'm going to let you push him out, essentially, and then work out how to rescue you. This is kind of
Okay.
the thing.
Yeah, that's fair. Ooh, a 9 out of 10.
That's brilliant. Nice rolling.
Before I do this, Soil, anything you want to say to him before I evacuate him from the situation?
All that Soil is able to get out is, what was my name? And at this point, just this barrel of fur and bees just flies by and there's just...
A barrel of fur and bees is a beautiful sentence. I love that.
That's a great album.
Okay, you collide them. The pair of you go flying into space because he's bigger than you are. And for a moment, you're trying to work out, grasping to get back, and somebody else grabs you. A tall figure, elegant, long, sweeping robes, like a kind of swashbuckler, grab you and swing you aboard. They pull off their mask. You realise it's Red Moon in Gold. I'll try to keep them away from you.
Cool.
They don't believe in your mission. You've got to keep on going.
Okay.
Goodbye, Mom.
You seem like you have a thing to sort out. I'm going to leave you to it.
He turns around, and then of course the other one's got a jetpack, and he's flying up, firing the gun. He backflips away, shooting his 2 pistols at this other version of himself across the timeline.
Castor, can you, hurry it up a bit?
This sounds like a great time for a delve roll, actually.
Cool. 4. It doesn't go very well at all.
Oh,
You're going really well, but you kind of get momentarily distracted from your mission, at which point the entire train collapses outward, into what feels like a playing board. And outside this playing board is this shadowy space. The train is somewhere else. It's like you're suddenly on a stage set. Heike, you of course know about the source, probably, which is the Hyena Heaven, the Null Heaven. Grant, do you want to describe it?
Yeah, so it's a massive pyramid that's both underneath the capital city of Almara and also everywhere. And it is the place where Null souls go when they die. It's a big computer, basically, and it runs all demonology.
What do I believe about it? Good, bad, indifferent?
You're not looking forward to going there, I think. Heike seems to be quite full of life.
Yeah.
But there's, I think there's kind of a cold indifference towards it, but a desire to make one's mark on the world before you're taken.
Okay.
Whilst you're here, you can actually just see moving like a ghost-like. It's like an echo in time and space. You see some explorers, because it's a place that Gnolls have explored. Big heavy suits moving through there carefully. One of them kind of takes their hat off, and it's a younger Louisa. Someone shouts, "Louisa, put your fucking hat back on."
I take off at a run.
You run towards her. Okay.
Unless someone's going to stop me.
Is anyone going to stop her?
No, God, absolutely. No, run into the void.
I think Soil just looking towards his friend running on one waxy foot and reaching out with, I think is Heike, and is just going to immediately, like, picking up his skirts, just begin to run after her.
Castor pulls his head out of the furnace, like, entirely burned. His skin's unharmed, but...
Is he got the black suit thing of people who've had an explosion?
Yeah, absolutely covered in soot. He's leaning forward, coughs up like a full coal.
What the fuck is going on?
Castor, it kind of feels, we've hopped a dimension too far, maybe?
I don't think this was me. I didn't dream of this. There's no goats at all.
You know what? I have a feeling your charge could probably do with a hand. Let me see what I can do about the furnace for a bit. Keep us stable.
Godspeed, Velvet.
And stumble up, grabbing my yellow scarf, smearing the soot off my face so I can see a goddamn thing. Putting the coat on, otherwise shirtless, and charging off into the darkness to make sure that these two don't get lost.
Heike, you're legging it towards the younger version of your partner. What do you do?
I think I'd try and take her into my arms.
You do that, she gets swept up, and then she immediately kind of, who the fuck are you? And she pushes you back, then she looks in your face. Oh my god, it's going to work.
Yeah, for sure.
Don't worry, it's all going to turn out okay, she says. Trust me. And she gestures around. This place is so boring, right? Oh, you're going? Like, come back. She fades away.
Oh no!
What happened? Are you alright?
She said it was, like, going great, and then she said I was leaving, except, like, I wasn't. I was, like, right here. Oh, fuck, we've got, like, way away from the engine. We need to, like, run back, like, right now. And I just, like, start pegging it back the other way.
I'm running after. I think across this weird non-Euclidean space, I think, Velvet, you would just hear Soil's voice echoing out against nothingness. Just, Velvet! The hat! A map to the hat! And it's just like pointing in the direction of what used to be the center of the carriage of the train.
In this kind of folding of space, for a couple of seconds, we look but as chess pieces moving across this large grid of a board, and the one that we can somehow tell is supposed to represent Velvet is moving square to square to get to the place where Soil has suggested where there is a directions of how to get out of here. Does the table still exist, or has it also kind of unraveled itself conceptually?
Everything's unraveled except for the actual engine itself. As in, basically the bit where you can stick your head is fine.
Yeah.
But, like, that's basically it.
But the environment has fallen apart, yeah.
Imagine if the train was like one of those fold-up paper toy things you assemble, and then you just push it all down, and that's it.
Yeah, no, I love that. And so to that end, upon getting to the destination, that Soil kind of gestures and Velvet looks down, and the table and the documents of it are just essentially a texture upon the board that we are on, rather than any kind of physical object. Yeah, they seem to not be real right now. We need to ground ourselves. And I don't know why I would be saying that of all things. Chaos is kind of what keeps me going, but yeah, we need a semblance of something that's fucking real. And she glances around the space as if something real is going to manifest, which it's just not how that works. All right, I can pilot this furnace myself. It's fine, I can do this. Marching back to the furnace in the center of this space. Still hot?
I think it's complicated right now. As in, kind of the heat's got in Castor, as in, like, it's kind of raiding out. So kind of you've got a gap there. So if you want to take a shot,
there is a conceptual outline of where Castor's head should be in this space.
It's yelling.
All right. She unravels only part of herself. The full true form is not required, but she pulls apart her left hand as if it was a string or a bandage entwining a body underneath, and puts in a crystalline, almost skeletal arm within the furnace. She, like, scrunches her eyes shut, expecting it to hurt.
That's beautiful. You do it. And what are you thinking of?
We are still maintaining the idea of the train being driven by wants.
Yeah.
And she, not knowing what Castor was thinking of when piloting the train, thinks of how satisfied everybody else will be having their journeys fulfilled upon reaching the heart. She imagines this resplendent church covered in the heart's delicious caramel viscera, the various fruit made of organs and peppermint hanging from the ceiling like chandeliers, as Heike, in the pantsuit, but now with a very fashionable belt that extends into a train, walking down along the aisle with Louisa, while there is, through the stained glass windows, showing a patron deity, of which there are many. The moon underneath, let's go with that. In the stained glass windows through that, there is an absolute rager of a barbecue outside, in which Castor is partying with myriad fairies.
I found a pool, and I'm going to jump in.
A whole paddling pool filled with whiskey.
The legends were true.
In the pews, Soil is sitting, weeping openly at the beautiful moment of two people being married, and a shadowy figure with a golden mask pulls out a dainty white handkerchief and dabs away the tears from his eyes. They are all so happy.
This is great. We shouldn't go to the actual wedding. That was good enough.
Thank you for listening to Heart.
Nathan granted us all our desires.
Brilliant. Okay, say, like, immediately the train folds back up neatly, and it's got a giant... The inside of the train has got, like, slightly different colouring. It's, like, slightly brighter colouring. Garlands stop bursting from it in that kind of way, in that beautiful way the heart does when it knows the heart is active. The flower smells something unlike the flower, something very pretty nevertheless. And everyone's moving. You get a chance to take a beat. Two things. The map's down back in you can look at Soil, including your notes, whatever you were carrying. Heike, you realise you grabbed a piece of paper on the way off her when you grabbed her. It's so kind of bits of a notepad. And the notepad's pretty simple. It's just kind of her beautiful script. She always has the most wonderful handwriting. And it just reads, the source, this place is so boring. Really, is this the best we can do? ?
Okay. Yeah, I think I just lay a kiss on it.
Aww.
Privately and quietly. And then I put it in my pocket.
Have a resource D4 Haven.
Ah, you romantic, you.
Yeah. I feel like we've got D4 fingernails. It's like...
Fingertips.
Oh yeah, tips, sorry.
Yes, it's a very different discussion.
Yeah.
The train carriages have reconstituted themselves into something probably arguably more saccharine than what they were previously. That smell of mint and burned caramel fills the air.
Perfect. Castor, what are you doing to calm down? But, Soil's probably thinking of stuff as well.
I'm not calmed down at all. Sorry, are we trying to centre ourselves? Because I'm really excited. Soil just said we had a map to the fucking heart?
Yeah. As I say, you two, you can jump in on a Soil and start interacting, because Soil's got, like, the papers, and Heike's kissing a piece of paper. There's a lot of papers in this scene.
A lot of paper theme. I'm going to start obsessively poring over that map. It's the sort of thing which you have to sort of queue up and read, and I have to go on intuition. I've never used anything like this before, but it's absolutely fascinating. I'm trying to find anything I recognise in it at all.
It's 2D, but it's also 3D when you put your hand inside. It's like a hologram you can interact with, is the best way of putting it. So it's like a portal in space into a pocket dimension that you can play with stuff in there and move stuff around. It feels slightly wrong when you move it around as well, and the idea that you might actually be moving stuff around is the kind of sense to it.
Everybody's getting motion sick.
Yeah, it's a bit like, what on earth are you doing? But you definitely get, everything's wrong is the best. I mean, it's the heart, everything's always wrong. Like, normally, like, the heart is just weird. You've travelled deep in the heart before, it's just weird. But this is just, like, beyond it. As in, it's the idea the heart is trying to do something it may not be able to do. It's consuming everything around it and becoming, like, this weird entropic, like, black hole of potentiality. And that's why it's really tricky. And that's why time and space are breaking down. Because you're not even sure what's early, what's later. And memories are kind of coalescing into fragments. So everything is real, or it has been real, and they're all true. It's fucking weird. Meanwhile, Soil has a piece of paper. What are you thinking?
Soil, I think, moving over to Velvet, just sort of looking her up and down, and then as he looks up and then down, his eyes go down again towards his hand, and just looking towards Velvet, I'm not asking for your help.
Okay.
But might you give this a read, please?
Sure. Since Velvet has stuck one hand into the furnace, she gestures with her free hand, like, come here, gimme.
Just imagine Castor going, you'd have to stick your head in it.
How are the dreams going to get out if you don't put your head in?
Hey, witch physiology is...
Of course, the dreaming hands.
Oh, that's a good name, the Dreaming Hands. I like that. She takes the paper in her free hand and kind of gives it an eye, gives it a look. Is there a discern roll involved, or can I read it?
I think it's discern. You can definitely read it. Can you understand it?
True.
This is some high-level magic bullshit. It may be arguably Castor's domain rather than yours.
Fair enough.
Like, that's the first thing you notice. It's like, it's real interesting high elf, human, experimental, high-level technology vibe.
Ooh.
If it's a history book in a language you don't read, that's kind of the energy. So it's not impossible, but it's definitely not your area.
Okay. Well, we've got to have discern, but we don't have technology, which you did mention, so I guess that's 2d10.
I'll give you one from technology.
Yeah, if you're down to help. As you come over and ask why my head isn't in the furnace, yes.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like it, to be honest. Okay. Best one's an 8.
Best one's a 9.
Ooh, thank you.
It's a hypothetical treatise about like what one could do. There's alive and dead as 2 states. And then, of course, there's also destruction of souls to power things. Like, that's what the Source kind of does. It kind of takes souls. There's also the theory of the complete annihilation of a soul. Not its destruction, it's just the idea of, like, hypothetically, if you made that happen, it would defy the entire laws of physics and kind of, like, throw a spanner in the workings of reality.
So souls are like matter. They can't be destroyed, just transformed.
Yeah, exactly. Can you unexist a soul? And that's the kind of the theory. And it's a paper which is very detailed, very complicated, and it's arguing that you could. And if you did, the space you create could allow you to do interesting things. You basically stop the machinery for a few seconds, or just a big enough gap, and in that space you could act in a way which perhaps you couldn't act normally.
In trying to kind of make sense, as both Castor and Velvet look at this document, she starts to try and read some of it aloud. It's like a theoretical treatise on...
Velvet, Velvet, tell me it's possible for me to find what I'm looking for.
Huh. She looks at you. She's had the conversation with you before about what your wish that you want to come true is already, I believe. She would have had to, otherwise this kind of journey between us wouldn't have happened. But when she asked you what your wish to come true was that she could help you with, what was it?
He wished to find his death. He wished to understand what happened to his soul.
Well, I think you could understand what happened, but I have to be honest with you about something.
You don't have to be, if you don't want to.
No, this is a truth that I think you're aware of, but I need to remind you. I'm very good at my job. I have made countless people's wishes come true, but that isn't always what they want. Or at least, they're so very rarely happy when they realize what they want. Truly. And, I'm giving you the option now to, if you feel you no longer need my services as making your wish come true. And believe me, as long as you don't write a bad review, I won't be hurt. Or, I can help fulfill your wish.
I think I would like you to help me.
Okay.
I think I want your help to feel happy.
She glances at Castor, considering he has also read the document, at his expression, still yikes face, absolutely. I'm very good at what I do. I help people's wishes come true, whether they really contend with it or not. Okay. Soil clogs her throat. You can understand what happened to your death. But, unfortunately, I don't think you'll be able to do anything about it once you know. Nothing will change for you upon you knowing, aside from the fact that, well, your question will be answered and then you'll be left wondering what you want to do next, I suppose.
Soil just stands there, and he nods, but he understands the unspoken meaning behind your words as he just reaches forward and just trembling fingers just takes the paper out of your hand and Something for you to snort, Castor. And just presses it into Castor's chest. And just heads over and...
Sir, something of this magnitude. Good heavens, sir.
Grant looked actually really touched by that. It was beautiful.
I don't know what to say, sir. Thank you so much. Dreadful news about all that.
I don't know what you're talking about. And he just sits down.
Right you are, sir. Onwards to the heart.
Yeah, Soil just sits down next to the hole left by Cable Red and the swashbuckler.
At which point, we'll cut to a delve roll, if possible, Nathan, for Velvet.
Yeah.
Delve cursed.
Good. I'm glad it's cursed, otherwise I would be just rolling 1d10. There's a 2d10 roll. Best of that is a 5.
That is a mixed success.
This is a new sash, so I can redivert it to Echo if it's a big chunky number.
I'll push it to... It's D8 Echo you would take, because it's quite...
Okay.
You take 1 point of Echo.
I guess that would be reduced to none with the protection I've got.
No, it does, in which case, yes, you absolutely ride out this awesome energy. And you kind of make it a significant distance until something weird pulls you, as in you're aware that this is the place you want to go. The train folds out, but this time, like the petals and the blossoming of a thing, so the entire train moves upwards and then slides down to one side, and its beautiful petals of reality unfold in all directions. And you're somewhere else. For the beautifulness of the transformation, where you are is significantly grimmer. You're in what looks like a desperate witch coven. It's the only way to describe it. It's deep in the heart. The walls are red and bloody and sticky, slowly dripping. And inside a ritual, presumably this ritual has just been completed. There are 6 circles around a central circle. Each of the circles are made of kind of a blue liquid, which is sticky. Does that sound like ice screeching? There are multiple dead bodies in here. Castor, Heike, Soil, all dead here. Their kind of bodies are lying near their circles. Over 2 of them in that kind of particular way. Then you realise there's another set of their bodies lying nearby. So there's 6 people all lying here dead, 2 of each. Other people are dead here. There's a bunch of kind of the cables, so red, moon and gold, and a few of the actual kind of more swashbuckly ones are dead here too. There's been a hell of a fight and you missed it. I said there's a sort of a weird ozone smell. And there's sort of designs on the wall.
Velvet, is this like your thing?
The arm that she stuck into the furnace now, the sensation of it is weird and cold and uncomfortable, like pins and needles, and she yanks her arm back out of it. It keeps happening. None of this is in the correct order that it's supposed to happen. There's a lot of chaos here.
How this is supposed to happen?
Well, not necessarily.
We've all died twice. Just here.
So,
Hang on a second. I'm going to start going through my pockets. My corpse's pockets. I'm going to loot me for everything I had on me. Because I don't need it anymore.
So, are you going to kill us? Is that...
No, of course not. Because that's not going to help your wishes come true. It's just that... So, it's not really my remit. But sometimes, some people's desires are in a... Spirial Escalier kind of way. Like, it's something they wish they hadn't done, or something that they wish they could go back and change. And there are some witches that can help those wishes come true. I am not one of them.
Cool. So, okay. I'm not loving the vibe in here. I'm going to be, real with you.
Oh, I don't know. It's,
Heike, you probably would have noticed something, actually, because you're the person whose body is most malleable. All of them at least the injuries you have. As in, none of them don't have what you have.
Do some of them have more than I have?
Yes. One of them does. And another one will work on the leg, but the leg is still recovered from the injury.
Right, okay. I have a question. Are they buzzing?
No, the bees are all dead.
Damn it.
Oh. It's quite sad, actually.
That's super sad.
Imagine reaching inside yourself, because there's probably queen bees inside you. Like, they're kind of the apex one. You reach inside, and they're just kind of, all the little bees are surrounding them in that kind of, keeping them warm as long as possible, but it's too late now.
Okay. Soil, I feel like this is, generally a you thing, but I'm going to, maybe stick part of me into the furnace. Okay, bye!
Heike, as Heike's doing this, actually, Soil's probably looking at the screen, I think, because we had these sort of the instructions on the wall, and you can kind of make some sense of it, whilst Castor's gathering a significant amount of drugs from these men.
Oh my god. Yeah. Are we talking like cool other dimension drugs, or just what I normally have on me?
Like there's some stuff you just don't know.
Hot diggity pig.
Interdimensional coke.
Yeah, it's like
Space coke.
This is kind of like stuff that only really exists deep in the heart, as in it's too unstable to drugs that's too unstable to exist outside this pocket of hell.
Theoretical drugs.
4-dimensional coke.
Yes. Theoretical, conceptual coke. It just, you don't do anything, you just kind of just stop speaking too loudly at parties.
What dice size is that?
I would say you've got 2d6 occult.
Yeah. Thank you.
I think because Soil has responded to the fact that there's like daubings on the walls that kind of have instructions to them, and Heike is saying like, "Oh, I don't like the energy of in here," and Velvet was like, "Well, I don't know. It reminds me of birthday parties, of all things considered." Soil, are you capable of reading that? I can give you the rundown if you don't. No.
Yes. I'll take a look. And what do I see?
I would say let's make this a discern religion or occult, depending what day of the week is.
Okay. I'll roll 3. Yee, highest one is a 4.
Well, that is enough to give you take D8 mind stress. Actually, I'll roll it. I'll tell you. 5 mind stress.
Okay.
Take major mind fallout.
Oh.
You just realise the sheer scale of it. It's enormous. Basically, it's a desperation plan. There's no way out of this zone now we're inside it. And to try to prevent it happening, prevent the wedding, we have to go back and somehow find a way to actually stop it. And we're not sure we can do that. We need to find a creature of pure idea and possibility. And he realised it's designed for how to transform somebody, a witch, ideally somebody connected to the heart, into a creature who can transcend time and live it backwards and forwards in any direction possible. It requires 6 souls to be inside them and to escape it. You slowly realise it's actually instructions on how to transform Velvet into Auntie. And there's an implication that Auntie was always Velvet.
I think this is an invitation for you, Velvet.
Oh? And she goes up and starts to read the scrawlings, the swirling patterns on the wall, and her expression, despite her deep complexion, goes grey as she processes what this is asking.
Definitely one of you here has done it. The question of what does that mean is very much there for you.
She says, "So, well, I don't think I ever saw Auntie Gracie leave the heart. And if I'm supposed to be her, then that means I don't get to leave."
Well, think of it this way. We all died twice and we're still here, so anything's possible.
You know what? I think after this gig, after I make all your wishes come true, then you get all the things that you want, whether you're happy about them or not. You're not going to be happy. I want to go on holiday, but if I'm not going to get a holiday, then I think I quit. And she walks into the middle of the spell circle, surrounded by the time paradox copies of your corpses, daubed in flowing blue-purple ink to connect it. And her chest, which another witch previously helped consolidate the roiling gap that exposed her heart and has now put it down to almost a glass dome covering it instead. And she takes her God's rib knife, reels back, and smashes the glass.
Brilliant.
And grabs this old, mummified, passed down from witch to witch, engraved with every spell they know heart, and tears it out of her own chest.
Brilliant.
Sick.
Big burst of energy, at which point Heike kicks in and we start blurring through reality again. Just leave it hanging there, because it's basically between moments and everything is blurring. Heike, what do you think as you put it in?
I put in the letter that I have.
Oh, perfect. Heike, your role is delve religion, actually.
Well, I rolled a 6, but Last session, I took Sacred Geometry Majestic,
Ooh.
so when I roll a 6, it becomes a 10.
I love how 6 is haunting this game. Roll d10 to see how far we go.
5, halfway.
Perfect. Zooming through time and space, everything folds up around you. Velvet, you feel weaker. You feel like you're coming down hard. It's just not nice at all. You hear like gunfire ricocheting off the outside. Maybe some of the other masks are following.
As this transformation is happening, a short while ago, or maybe it was tomorrow, or maybe it was today, it is impossible to tell. Time is shifting and changing, and it's cyclical, and it's broken, and it's nothing, and it's everything. But at a point, there was a moment where Soil offered something to Velvet to protect her heart. He offered the death mask of his spouse. And I think in this moment, as this incomprehensible thing is happening before Soil, I think he has that same urge as reaching out, almost himself, almost his mind, almost it's strange, it's liminal, it's dreamlike, it's nightmarish, but Velvet, you would feel around you a ghostly embrace, as just holding your heart in place with these hands from behind as this soft elfir head and warm flowing hair just cascades about you, just holding you from behind and just nurturing you. And there is a moment of warmth and comfort.
Velvet Monte Carlo wonders if this is what the sun feels like.
I'm lost in thinking about those. Genuinely a beautiful moment. We're zooming through time and space. Immediately we're going to skid to a halt again as you kind of reach somewhere else. It's really simple. Like you suddenly think you've gone too far. As it unfolds again, it unfolds like an envelope, like a party envelope you're in, and the reality slides out a bit before you. You're on it looks like dust. It looks like a bit like the surface. Velvet gets to see the sun, except it's very small and it's almost disappearing. As in, it seems much, much smaller and weaker than you would remember. As if it's going out. And it's very, very cold. It's colder than any you've ever felt. There's no plants here, no life, nothing else. It's like a dead and dying world, as if everything has gone awful. I said there was no life. There's certainly a person there, in the middle distance, watching the dying sun. Everything's quiet, insanely quiet. Everything echoes instantly. The spire, as you realise, fell long ago, and is dust. You see tiny bits of remains of structure. It must have fell infinite lifetimes ago. And the person sitting there, bedraggled, confused, and staring up with mad eyes at the skeletons, is Soil.
Yeah.
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 I knew that was going to be the case, and I didn't want to know that. I think that seeing this, we maybe sit either side of future Soil and say, "Hello, old friend."
I'll put an arm around him.
Yeah.
Hi, sir.
It was good to see you.
He seems to be taking it well.
Yes. Little gentle tap. We're like, Soil, stay the fuck over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Velvet engages Soil.
Soil's focus is entirely on Velvet at the moment.
And eventually, it's as if he's digging out something from his mind, like excavating it, as in words. What are they? And it says, "Live forever." Wasn't life. It was forever. And then gets back to rocking and watching the slow end of the universe he's in.
Whatever it was, he made the most of it.
Yes. Yes, certainly. Come on, let's get back on the fucking train.
Yeah.
Good luck, sir.
Have you got any drugs? Because now would be like a super sick time.
I'm already really... Yeah, sure, absolutely. Come on. Why didn't you ask? Heike, I've got interdimensional theoretical cocaine I stole off my own corpse. Now, let's do some off the top of this furnace and go to your fucking wedding. We don't tell Soil any of this.
Oh, no, Jesus Christ.
Because he will find out. Oh, wait, sorry. Before I do that, I'd like to give him the book that I've been carrying around this whole time of my own exploits?
So it makes it to the end of the universe.
Pretty much. Press that firmly into his hands. You know, sir, you were okay. You were fine. Bye.
Oh,
Wow, you really know how to, like, make someone feel wanted.
Well, it's kind of well, you know.
I think he was great. Listen, let's go.
Okay.
Before he figures out that he's here. Oh, fuck.
to keep Soil occupied, because I think even with the connection to the heart severed, just the sheer passive amount of wrongness in the air made Velvet go like, oh no. Soil, we've all had a bit of a turn. That hurts. We've all had a bit of a turn piloting the train, and I don't think I have enough in me to push it on a little bit. It doesn't hurt to put something in, or yourself in. Are you okay piloting it for a bit?
Sit down. And for once, let someone else help you.
Wow, that was so weird, meeting the manifestation of my own doubt. Let's go!
Oh, shit. Was it bad out there?
It's just your own doubt out there.
Oh.
Yeah. Mine specifically, not like like mine. Specifically my doubt.
Oh.
Like the living embodiment of cold feet, huh?
Yeah, for sure. But, like, it's all resolved. We did, like, a whole thing about it. Anyway...
Slam 2 lines of interdimensional theoretical cocaine off the top of the furnace. Sir, you're, let's get going, eh?
Head first, yes, Castor?
That's the way.
And just shoving his head into the furnace.
I'm so glad that we didn't put a kid in there. We just all decided to put our faces in it instead. I know that wasn't the design of the situation, but I'm so happy.
Design is a very strong word for what it was.
Complex puzzle with one solution, which we failed to find.
Face.
Soil just feels an intense burning as all across his face gold just begins to melt and drip down onto
Sick.
the floor of the furnace, and his jaw begins to just melt and gestate and fuse with what remains of his lower half of his face, and it is now dripping down as he eventually leaves the furnace, and just welded to his face are just rivulets of gold that just pour down.
So sick.
Down and intermingling with the reams of tattoos all over his upper body. He's not a well man.
Metal as fuck. Oh my god.
Brilliant. It's worth noting you have a mind fallout.
I do.
I'm going to pick delusion, and I'm going to run it slightly different to how it's written, because I'm not going to consult with people, because I know what it is. And we're going to go with that. If that's okay?
Absolutely. I trust you.
Fantastic. We're zooming through time and space. You know you're getting into the heart because everything's getting bloodier. When you next stop, you think you've made it there. And then in fact, the actual whole place explodes like a packet of pills. And you find yourself somewhere you can't quite identify. You are in a large balloon-shaped chamber. It's big enough that the Aortic Dragon's just kind of resting there. And there's various bits of, objects floating in it. And you realise, with this acid, the Aortic Dragon's now lying in acid to one side. And there's kind of smokes coming off, you can barely breathe. There's a large hole way above you, and there's a hole what appears to be draining the fluid slowly. And there's stuff kind of floating in it a bit that's kind of being dissolved. I was about to say, weird thing, Castor, your stomach's hurting.
Boys?
No, I've seen that look, no.
When the Castor's laughing, there's a weird rumbling through the entire chamber from enormous caverns above you.
Thought I recognised that tattoo. That's the tattoo I've got on the inside of my stomach.
Castor, what is it?
It's meaningful occult bullshit, which lets me take a lot of these drugs, and is the byproduct of a lot of these drugs. It doesn't help with the cocaine, but anything which is ingested orally is generally, it's sort of etched a history of bad decisions on the inside of my stomach, but it's sort of baked some rudimentary wards in there.
Another thing that lists your bad decisions is the ulcer you've now noticed from the inside.
Yeah. A good thing I'm not a doctor. Okay, just gotta say, this is great. Because you all seem to get something tragic. Oh, sir, you haven't got one yet. But this...
No, nothing for you.
It was all fine.
This feels like light relief.
So, how much longer do we need to stay in your digestional tract?
Did anyone bring any food? Because I haven't shit in about 4 days.
Oh my god, I have so much honey you would not believe.
It's a start.
Bees to work. Kieran's just looking at me like, how dare you?
No, I want to know exactly what... I'm just waiting to see if Castor dares put anything in his mouth and see what happens.
Oh my god, absolutely. Yeah. I get Winnie the Pooh style palmfuls of honey off the apiarist. Oh.
There's a weird rumbling above you, and suddenly a waterfall of awful, hard, gelatinous, like sticky, and it might knock you into the acid. Now I actually mention it.
Well, we're in the acid, right?
No, you're not on the remains of the train. So the train's kind of like, so you may be knocked into the water. The train is like resting in the water. I would say everyone make a endure.
Cursed?
Endure terror. Endure cursed.
I think cursed.
Feels cursed.
Well, I roll a 1,
This is absolutely cursed.
but it's very much my own fault.
That is a 9, so I don't get got. Thank goodness.
That is a 3.
So who failed? It was
10.
Oh, Heike does great. Velvet does great.
It's me and Soil.
Soil, right. 5, 2. Castor take fortune stress, yeah. Neither of you activate, so you've got to carry that on. You kind of almost fumble in, things get messy. It's getting a bit risky here. On the other hand, you've got a lot of honey. Castor, you're excited about going to the party, aren't you?
So excited. I do get a bit of a nervous tummy when I'm excited, though.
It is getting a bit. Would you say you get butterflies in your stomach? Is that a thing that you would say, or...?
Yes. And the moment I start thinking about them, I realise the absolute terror of that. But yes, there's definitely the sensation of butterflies in my stomach as I realise the majesty.
There's the kind of the horror of all of this, the wonder, and that suddenly, butterflies are starting to emerge, genuinely cursed butterflies with far too many wings.
Biblically accurate butterflies.
Initially, when there's a discussion of trying to generate food within this space, Velvet considers using ascendancy, changing the nature of the heart to bring the heart into the space, which manifests usually as plants made from sweets. And she thinks about it and then realizes that it is not a thing she can currently do, and instead rummages around in her leather doublet for the sorcerer's ashes that we obtained previously and just full fist throws them into the furnace. I can't. I don't think I'm in a position to fight those, so I would rather leave.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. I think that's
Yeah.
a good call.
Suddenly, it's beautiful. Like you're just soaring in free space. Like a bullet shaped like a dragon, soaring through the space.
Do we see the side of Castor just like momentarily, like there's a glitch?
You don't just see it, you kind of see both things simultaneously. Through both, in other words, it becomes very confusing. The idea that your eyes are seeing things on multiple levels, and you see other things you can't possibly see as well. You see other trains bursting out of other people. The Arctic dragons exploding in midair, cut down by those cable guys armed with enormous continent-sized buzzsaws. You see other dragons mating with other dragons, deciding that, love is far more important in this short world. You see infinite soils falling from the heaven like an avalanche. As you get towards the heart, things are increasingly weird. And then, it's all over. You come in, quite smooth to land in a parking bay, with all the trains lined out neatly. What was the name of the complete idiot you tricked, Soil?
Rubidia?
Yeah, Rubidiot. Rubidiot is here, dressed in fine page's outfit. Goes, you arrived exactly on time. Very charmed to meet you. Again, would you like to come with me? And we pan over, and we get an amazing visual of the wedding party. All the people Heike did in exactly the way their wedding was. Your beautiful bride, Louisa, exactly like she was then. She's standing in front of a continent-sized lump of meat, which is pulsing enormously. She holds 2 tiny little bits of veins, the smallest veins of this enormous, heaving creature. A voice speaks. If anyone knows any reason why this knoll and this enormous creature beyond time and space should not be joined in matrimony, speak now or forever hold your peace. We pause there for a second, just as Heike is clearly about to fucking scream. And we pan past the group around to Soil. And Soil's standing there with his ghostly elfin hand on his shoulder. And a soft voice goes, "Don't worry, this is exactly how we planned." And then you realise that soft hand, it is soft but in a different way. It's more furry. And you pull back and you realise the ghost that's been hunting Soil isn't really a ghost at all. It's Louisa. We pull back and see that Soil was married to a knoll. And we'll end our session there.
You fucked my wife.
Air horn sound effects. Yeah.
Anyway, thank everyone for playing. Shall we
I know
do
you
our-
can't die, but I'm going to kill you again, just so we're clear.
Me and my hot null wife.
Oh my god.
Grant, do you want to take us out?
I've been Grant Howitt. I've been playing the Heart Actual Play podcast by Rowan, Rook and Deckard. If you like what I'm about, you can find me on the internet at GS Howitt. Although not on Twitter anymore, I don't fucking go there.
Hooray!
After that, yeah, I'm out. I'm free.
Good work.
But tonight I've been joined by Naomi.
Hi, I've been Naomi Clarke. You can find me at Naomi Thinks It all over the internet. You can find my show at The Kilder if you want more doomed love.
And Edward.
I've been Edward Spence, he, him. You can find myself and my null wife over at Edward_Score. You can find me at Edward_Spence_ everywhere across the internet.
All over your wife.
You can find my work over at Wounded Warrior Project. You can also find a rather more wholesome and less sweary work over on Stellar Luna, where you can watch our 10-episode Crit Awards nominated miniseries Beyond the Brook, and Cozy Autumnal story about 5 children lost in a mysterious wilderness known simply as the Backwoods.
And Nathan.
Hi, I am once again your androgynous android, Nathan Blades. If you enjoy me involving myself in Grant Howitt's cool tabletop RPGs, did you know that there is a streamed actual play called Chant of the Void Sea that uses a combination of Spire and Blades in the Dark to tell a lo-fi crime drama available on both Twitch and YouTube under the Neon Caster. And otherwise, you can check out my games at theneoncaster.itch.io. Thank you for having me.
And finally, Kieron Big Dog Gillen.
Is that big dog my wife?
Hello.
You monster!
Oh dear. I'm Kieron Gillen. I've been bastardising Gareth Hanrahan's Dagger in the Heart. Like several of the best bits I sort of take from there and just twisted slightly, so it's an amazing book I recommend you buy. I wrote Die RPG, available for Rowan, Rook and Deckard. You can find me on my website, KieronGillen.com, that links everywhere. The newsletter's the best place. And I've got a new comic called The Power Fantasy that's out probably now.
Good night, everyone, and we'll see you next time.
Farewell.
Bye.
You're all invited to the reception.
I'm going to kill you.
Thank you for listening to Till Death Do Us Part, a Rowan, Rook and Deckard actual play. This episode was produced by Naomi Clarke, with editing by Maddy, Searle, and Oliver Moore. The theme was by Nick Seatman, with additional music by Kai Pritchard. The GM was Kieron Gillen. Soil was played by Ed Spence. Velvet was played by Nathan Blades. Castor was played by yours truly, Grant Howitt. And Heike was played by Naomi Clarke. If you'd like to learn more about Heart the City Beneath and our other fine role-playing games, go to rrdgames.com and buy something, why don't you?
Diggity pig. Hot diggity pig. Hot diggity pig. Hot, 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 hot diggity pig. Diggity pig. Diggity pig. Diggity pig. Hot diggity pig.